All right, folks, welcome back. Happy Masters Week. Today's guest, Chris Philly on Instagram. Chris Phillips runs the Spurs Up Show. If you're not a Gamecock fan, you're missing out. One of the best Gamecock podcasts out there. So, Chris, thanks for hopping on the show, man.
I appreciate it, man. I'm not only just a Gamecock fan. I'm also, though, I'm glad to come on your show because I'm a big golf guy. My dad played college golf. I played competitive golf till I was 15. I'm from like the golf mecca, basically, North Augusta, South Carolina, right by Augusta, Georgia. So I'm excited to come on. Yeah,
I'm from Myrtle Beach, and you can say you're the golf mecca all you want, but hey, Myrtle Beach is.
I mean, when you got the National and Sage and Augusta Country Club, and I don't know, it feels like the golf mecca. For that, it feels like.
I hear you. But I wanted to have you on the show because, like you said, you're from North Augusta. You have a lot of experience in the golf world, but to start it off, you caddied at Sage Valley, right?
Yeah. Yep. So I did.
Well, yes. We were just talking about it off air, and this is one of the first times non-Masters weeks you're not caddying. Yeah. So what was that experience like?
Yeah, so it's interesting how it came about, man. So like I said, I played competitive golf till I was 15. So like I played on the varsity team my freshman year. I wasn't a bad little player. Played on the varsity team my freshman year and at North Augusta High School. One of the things we got to do, the golf coach had the hookups, whatever. And Sage Valley is like probably, 15 minutes from where I grew up. I live off of exit 1. That's how you get North Augusta.
Yeah.
Sage Valley's exit 11. So, it's literally just 10 miles down the road. And so we got the opportunity to caddy there. I did it once, whatever. I was a freshman in high school. Didn't really think much of it. And then as my baseball career, I chose baseball over golf because it was one of those things where I loved golf, but I had a passion for baseball. And also, man, golf is just so freaking hard. And I was a hothead when I was younger. And so that's not a good mix. You know what I mean? When you're trying to play golf and you let your emotions get to you. And it's one of those things where baseball, it's a lot easier to see progress than in golf, where like you might get better, but your scores aren't really getting that much better. And it just gets really frustrating. Either way, whatever. Chose baseball, and I ended up playing with this kid that his dad was the caddy master at Sage Valley.
Yeah.
And so he had known that I'd played golf before, and it was something where when I was in college, and I actually transferred from Newberry and transferred back home to Augusta State University because I played college baseball at Newberry. And once I got
you and Patrick Reed, your alumnus.
Yeah. I graced the hallways as well, but I don't think he was there at the same time I was. But no, they were still
Rolex. Did you?
No, they were still nasty in golf though when I was there for sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they still are. But so when I came back home though, basically he was just like, hey, I started working a little bit because my baseball career, I hung up the cleats, and he was just like, hey man, if you want to come out here and caddy, like you can make really, really good money. It's all cash under the table. And of course, Sage is a beautiful place. And, it's one of those things where like not everybody that caddies is a great golfer, of course. Not everybody that caddies even really knows the game of golf that well. Some people are just out there to get the money, but it's a huge plus and a bonus, right? If you know the game, for sure. So I figured it was something like, hey, I could be pretty good at it. And I went out there and tried it and did it. And, was able to meet a ton of great people, and like I said, I had perspective in the sense I was like, dude, I get to go to the golf course. So I did that on and off part-time from, literally like 2012, maybe 2011, all the way to like 2018. I was doing it on and off. And there were a couple of years in there where I actually did it full-time, believe it or not. And the thing that I love and hate about golf, and I'm sure you probably feel the same way, there are no days off in golf. The sun comes up, you're working. You're at the golf course. Like I've talked to like, pros about it, and again, caddies and just other people. It's like, it's a grind. When the sun's up, we're playing. So, but it was a hell of an experience, man. I met so many cool people, and I caddied Masters Week, like I was telling you, a ton of years. Again, the only 2 years that I really didn't, and I'm not this year, obviously, which I'm very thankful for because I get to actually watch the golf on TV. But 2016, I had moved to Charlotte and started in the corporate world and stuff like that. Decided, you know what? And I had the opportunity to go home and get the money because, you make great money during Masters Week. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just enjoy the golf, sit back, whatever. And then last year, when the pandemic hit, because I was finally living in Columbia and doing, the Spurs Up Show stuff full time, whatever. Yeah. So caddied a ton of Masters Week, but dude, I got to meet so many good people from all over the world. Was in a group with Aaron Boone, who's the general manager of the Yankees. I was in a group with Colin Montgomery. I met guys from Germany and Australia, and the Australians are nuts, by the way. Like they're fun.
Absolutely.
They're so much fun.
Yeah.
Guys from Texas, they're incredible. Those dudes are, because everybody's coming out there to have a great time. Everybody's in town for the week. They're, drinks are flowing. Everybody's you've got your morning groups who are getting out there before they head to Augusta. You got your afternoon groups who go to Augusta in the morning and then play in the afternoon. It's just, I mean, it's a blast. It's crazy. But, I will tell you, one year I did this and I swore I'd never do it again. I did 36 holes 5 days in a row. And
oh my God,
when I tell you my feet were just killing me. But no, the life of a caddy, man, it's interesting. I got to caddy for Will Muschamp. I'm sure you probably remember seeing that. And I got to meet, more. I met people from Golf Illustrated.
So I have a question about the Will Muschamp thing, and I'm glad you brought it up. Was that before or after you went on Instagram?
Pre-fire Muschamp.
Pre-fire Muschamp.
That was May of 2019. That was before I'd even moved to Columbia, and that was pre-UNC game. Put it that
Gotcha.
way. So I was still a pro Muschamp guy. I was still, as pro Muschamp as you could be at that point. So
And for those people that don't know what I'm talking about when I say is that pre or post fire Muschamp, Chris was at a game. The life of a Gamecock fan,
right.
If you don't know, it's a roller coaster. I've been a Gamecock fan my entire life. Both my parents went there, and I'm sorry if you can hear a baby screaming in the background. I have 8-month-old
dad
twins.
Dad life.
So both my parents are Gamecock alumnus, and we've been saying wait till next year. For me, for 32 years. For my mom, I won't say the exact number, but her entire life, right? Yeah. It's always a wait till next year thing. Every time we think we got a good coach. We thought we had it with Lou Holtz, and then he left. And we thought we had it with Spurrier, and then we had it for a little bit, and then he left in kind of a dumpster fire. And then Will Muschamp comes in, and then anyways, you got it going, and then we lose to the Citadel.
Yeah, lose to the Citadel, and then that year, the UNC thing, not to talk everybody's ear off that's tuning in, because, again, a lot of people probably aren't Gamecock fans, but lose a game you should win to a freshman quarterback with a first-year head coach against a team that I think won like 2 or 3 games the year before. So you can just say things were not very not very positive in Gamecock land. And when you call for the head coach's head, things get kind of interesting on the business side of things. But back to the golf thing, though, man, I just want to say, like, Sage Valley was an awesome experience. There's a ton of guys out there I still know, and I still know the pro out there. And again, I think, honestly, one of the reasons I'm able to do what I do now with, because I really believe everything happens for a reason. I think one of the reasons I'm able to interview the people I'm able to interview and how we're able to sit here and I'm able to talk to you is from meeting those people. I mean, dude, I've met CEOs, pro athletes, people of high status, where it's like I got so comfortable just talking to people, just having conversation, just bullshitting with them. Yep. It just kind of became second nature. It's like I don't get like the starstruck feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many famous people that were out there that, I mean, I was standing next to Bryson DeChambeau. He was literally, it was the week before the Masters. He was out there practicing. It's just like no big deal. DeChambeau's just out there. I mean, I was also able to caddy in the Junior Invitational, which is like the biggest junior tournament in the world. I think it's the top 54 or top 60 juniors in the entire world. I caddied for a kid the last couple times I did it. His name's William Mao. He plays for Pepperdine now, and they are nasty. They are really good. I think they just finished third at the tournament down there at Augusta at Forest Hills. So, I mean, I've definitely got an extensive background in golf, man. And while I was doing that too, there was about a 8-month stretch I worked at Augusta Country Club, which, if you're familiar with the Augusta National and kind of golf around that area, you'll know that the Augusta Country Club actually borders Augusta National. Yeah, so fun. I'm sure you knew this, but I was going to say, fun story is that Augusta Country Club was there first. So when the National built 12 and 13 tee box, they bought that land from Augusta Country Club.
Really?
Yes. So they bought that land to build those holes. And then when Augusta just did their, I guess, refurbishment of 13 tee box or whatever the heck they did, or whatever,
just extended it, to be honest.
They tore out number 9. So that was number 9 right here for Augusta Country Club. And then you had the 13 tee. So they tore that out. Augusta National paid to have it all rebuilt, plus gave them like $20 million. I mean, for the National, money's not anything. So no, Augusta Country Club, that's one hell of a track too. If you never played there, hopefully you can meet a member or something, get up. I mean, I got to play it, and it was great. But I mean, dude, growing up in the area, it's awesome. I mean, there's no week like Masters week. I joke with people that and if you're tuning in and you're in Augusta right now, I tell people that Augusta is the coolest city in the world for a week out of the year, and the rest of the time it's it's kind of a shithole, to be honest. But no, it's a great week, man. It's so awesome. And, I've got to go to the Masters. Obviously, I still have fond memories of going to like practice rounds with my dad. I got to go on Sunday in 99, watch Jose Maria Olazabal win. I went 2008 Sunday and watched Trevor Immelman win. My dad was there in 2005 when Tiger chipped in on 16. Probably one of my favorite Masters memories, me and my dad watching together in 2004 when Phil won. And we were huge Phil guys. And my dad was like literally shedding a tear because he was so happy Phil finally broke through. So it's awesome, man. It's really cool, especially for the people in that local area. It's a really cool week and it means a lot. But it's like golf is kind of part of the fiber of that area. It's neat.
Yeah. It is for sure. It's a part of the fiber of like the whole state of South Carolina, really, and Georgia, right? Like, because Augusta, if you aren't familiar with like South Carolina and Georgia geography, Augusta is on the border. Like, to get to the
literally
South
the Savannah River separates Augusta and North Augusta, or Georgia and South Carolina. Yeah.
There's like maybe 5 miles from Augusta National to the South Carolina side of the state border. And I've tried for 26 years to get tickets. I'm 0 for 26. Maybe next year.
With the connections. Come on, you can't have a golf podcast and not have connections to get
Well, maybe next year.
I was going to say this year I could see it could be very tough. It's very limited.
I got something we're working on for next year. So next year, I feel positive about that.
Get your PXG buddies to throw you some tickets.
Calling in a favor to Gary Player. Let's keep it moving. I wanted to talk about the Augusta National Women's Amateur specifically because of the Lady Gamecocks that showed up and play. And I'm going to butcher their names because it's a French girl and a girl from Spain and I had no idea that the Lady Gamecocks, the women's golf team, was so highly ranked. Right. And you said it off air.
Number one in the country. Yeah.
Number one in the country.
Yeah.
So that was huge. And
doing work.
I'm going to try this in a French accent. Bouchard or Boucher, perhaps?
Yeah, I think it's Bouchard. I was going to say, I'm going to butcher the names too. So I don't know. Like, I'll let you go first, but
I'll go first. It's my podcast. And I'm sorry, Pauline, if I butcher your name, but Pauline Bouchard finished tied for third. And then Anna Pele. I don't know. I have a Spanish minor from Coastal Carolina University. So take that as it's worth. Yeah. But Anna tied for 13th, I believe, if I'm looking at this right.
Yeah, I was going to say Bouchard, too, is a sophomore.
12th. She was solo 12th.
Yeah, she was solo 12th. Bouchard's a sophomore, though, when we were talking off air. She set a record with 7 birdies in the final round. So she had 7 birdies, had 5 bogeys. So she finished with a 2 under 70 for the round. So I love that, man. At Augusta, you got to be aggressive. I like that.
It's crazy to think that, like, all these girls are between the ages of Paris Holinsky. Ryan Holinsky, former Gamecock quarterback's cousin, was out there playing. I've had her on the podcast. She's 16, right? And she missed the cut, didn't play the weekend, but she still shot in the 70s at Champions Retreat, which is right there in Augusta as well, or North Augusta. And then these girls on the weekend were shooting like 73, 72 at Augusta National from the members tees. Like, that's no joke.
Yeah.
I was impressed by the whole crowd.
Yeah, that's really playing, man. And like you said, we mentioned, what the Gamecocks women's program has done. And really, as a whole, man, women's sports at South Carolina, is really carrying the torch right now, I feel like, with basketball and then golf and everything. But it's really cool to think about, man. I think it's so awesome that they, Augusta National made that decision to have this event, give these young women the opportunity to display their skills. Because again, it's funny, again, working at Sage Valley and caddying out there, I've had, I think there was actually one time I caddied in a group, like a college golf team, female college golf team. Like, those girls can play, dude. It's not like a joke. They can really, really play. Obviously, they can't hit it as far, whatever, but like, they can play. So to see them do what they did and represent South Carolina the way they did. And again, I can only imagine, it's people's dreams to play out at Augusta National, and just hear them talk about, 3, 5, 12, 15, 16, just recapping everything. Like I said, that's something they'll definitely remember forever. But it's awesome to see, man, for sure. Like I said, I'm really glad that Nationals putting on the event. I'd have to imagine it's been a huge success for them.
Yeah. I don't know what their metrics are for success, but if you want to talk about like every man every guy in my neighborhood, everybody that I talk to, everybody that's in my circle, we don't watch LPGA Tour golf.
Yeah.
We don't watch women's golf. Sorry for the ladies out there.
Yeah.
I don't watch that.
Yeah.
But I tuned in and I watched the Augusta National Women's Amateur. It was so intriguing to see because, they're hitting from spots. And the reason why I enjoyed watching this tournament, and I will probably tune into more LPGA Tour events, is because they're hitting roughly the same clubs I would be. So instead of going out there and watching Bryson or Dustin or even Jordan Spieth, who's a relatively shorter hitter, hit from like 30 yards back from the back tees, and then they have a 9-iron in or an 8-iron in or whatever it is. These girls didn't have that. And they're going to be hitting the same yardages roughly, like 260 driver, and then they have a 7-iron from 150 or something. I don't know. But it was cool to see the way they approached the course and the spots they were ending up in that were a little different than the men.
Yeah, and you think to just specifically the National and how much different it'd play for them. I think of, really every single hole, but I think like 2 is going to play so much different. 3 is going to play completely different. Most of these PGA Tour guys are driving the green, or they're chipping on the next shot. 4 is already a monster. 5 is such an underrated hole, that dogleg left up the hill. That's such a tough golf hole. 8 and 9, even that pair of par 4s, and then you think of the back 9 amen corner, the way it plays, 17, 18, the way it plays. So no, it is interesting. You're right. It's cool. It's like almost a different game. And like you said, you can almost relate more to it because let's face it, most of us aren't hitting our driver 325, 330, 340, whatever. Like,
not me.
No, most of us are. And I'll be honest, like if I catch it, I can smoke it 300. It's most of us are like realistically averaging like 260, 270. So it's like, it's cool to watch them and be like, you almost relate to it a little bit more in regards to the way they're playing the golf course and strategizing. So it is neat to watch it in that regard.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I was excited to watch that, and we'll continue to watch that in the future and look forward to see what Augusta National has next. But main event, let's move on to the Masters. What's your thoughts this year? We're back in spring. We're back in April. We had the November Masters, which was weird.
Yeah.
It was still cool. It was great to watch. Glad Dustin won because he's a relatively local dude.
Coastal guy. Gamecock fan.
Yeah. Native of Columbia.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought him up. Have you heard the story about how he chose Coastal?
I haven't. I feel like I've heard things, but I don't think I've heard the actual story. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know if it's true. I don't know if the story's true, but I'm making a habit out of saying stories I hear at this point. So the story was he was getting recruited by a few different schools. Carolina was one of them. And then he went on a family vacation to Myrtle Beach. And in true Dustin fashion, they drove by Conway, coming down 501, going into Myrtle Beach. And they drove by Coastal. He goes, "Man, I didn't know there was a school here." And they drove in off the road, and he walked into the head coach's office, and he goes, "I want to play golf in Myrtle Beach. I want to come to school down here and go to school at the beach." And then he did.
Now, I definitely haven't heard that story. Since we're on the topic though of DJ stories before we get into master stuff, really quick. My best friend, he goes to Harbor Town every year, which that you talk about the states of Georgia and South Carolina and them being the golf meccas. The reason is because there's so many great courses, and Harbor Town is definitely one of them. That's an awesome event. I know the players love it, kind of like that decompressor, that stress-free week after a crazy stress week in Augusta. But somebody goes every year. They've got like a hookup with some Coca-Cola guy. Like they get like these VIP tickets or whatever. He met Dustin Johnson a couple of years ago. And I guess he was just kind of like the bystander or whatever while DJ was talking to these people. And DJ's saying like basically recollecting how he used to just go out and get shit-faced on the boat and then go play the next day in the round. And he's like, yeah, I can't really do that anymore. Like, but DJ used to be an animal. There's just no other way to put it. He used to be an animal.
He has the course, and this is another story, DJ's story, may or may not be true. He has a course record up here. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina, right?
Right.
They played a college tournament out there, and he has the course record. He shot a 61 on a Pete Dye course, par 72, like sick. And his 7-iron's hanging up in the clubhouse. And the story goes is he went out for his practice round, played pretty well, and then disappeared. Nobody could find him, right? He rolls in the next day in a cab in the same clothes, covered in glitter and hammered 5 minutes before his tee time, and goes out and shoots a course record. Like, don't know if that's true, but that's the story the members have told me.
Oh, man. Sounds pretty on brand, though. Sounds pretty on brand.
Sounds definitely on brand for DJ. So sure. Reigning champ, how do you think DJ is gonna fare this year? Is he gonna be able to retain the jacket, or we're gonna see somebody else wearing it?
I think, if I had to bet, I would say somebody else will be wearing it. But back to just the Masters getting back to its normal week. It's great to see. Like you said, it was weird last year. Thank God we even had a Masters. You know what I mean? I remember sitting basically at this point or a few weeks prior last year, and when they announced they were going to postpone the Masters, and just how, obviously devastated we all were at that point. You know what I mean? Because the Masters is the unofficial start of spring. Basically, this is when, okay, now sports are back. Everything is back now with Masters week. And, it's funny, I didn't, when I used to really, really watch golf, religiously, it was golf season doesn't really start till the Masters gets going. That's when you really start getting into golf season. But, I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. It's just, it goes without saying how great of an event it is. Obviously, DJ, the reigning champion, and, he's actually the favorite. Him and DeChambeau, the favorite right now at 10-1 odds. I was looking at the odds before we came on, and I think there's some really intriguing guys in regards to value, and you can grab them at. And I'd expect DJ to play well. It kind of feels like at this point, there's a couple of guys on tour that I don't know, and I don't follow golf as closely as you do anymore, but there's just some guys I'm like, even if he doesn't win, I expect him to probably finish top 15. I think he's just going to play well. You know what I mean? And I was happy to see DJ break through on that course too. But, how does Brooks Koepka respond from what he had the knee surgery, right? And he's obviously playing this week, or said he was. I know he was practicing yesterday, but he had the surgeries, come back from injury. How does he respond? Dude, Jordan Spieth is so intriguing to me.
Brooks had knee surgery 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm shocked he's playing. But
me too.
It's the Masters.
Me too.
Masters. Koepka's going to win one before it's all said and done, bro. There's for sure. No question.
For sure.
I'd love to see, man, and I think everybody would. I'd love to see, which it's wild. He's 11-1 odds. I know he just won, but Jordan Spieth, man, what redemption it'd be for him to find a way to get the jacket back on. I think Justin Thomas is going to win one eventually. There's a bunch of good guys in the field. So
yeah. So I'm pulling up this text. I was texting with my friend he's been on a heater as far as golf betting goes since the Waste Management Open in mid-February, early February. He has an 80% win rate right now. So on February 16th, I sent him a text and I said, I want you to put $100 on Jordan Spieth to win the Masters. February 16th, I said, I want you to put $100 on Jordan Spieth to win the Masters. He didn't do it. Now he's 11-1. At the time, he was 250-1.
Wow.
250-1. And I was like, put $100 on Jordan Spieth to win the Masters. I'm not saying I'm predicting the future, but I am saying I called it in February. Jordan Spieth's winning the Masters. That's my pick for the week. I think Jordan's going to win. He's one of the only few needle movers in the game of golf, right?
Yeah.
It's Tiger.
Absolutely.
It's Rory, and it's Jordan. There's three of them. Yeah. Everybody else, Brooks can win. It's cool. DJ can win. It's cool. Justin, I love Justin Thomas. He can win. It's cool. But it's not, it doesn't get people excited about golf. And for whatever reason, Jordan has that aura about him. So I'm calling Jordan Spieth.
Well, and I think people love, as Americans, we love to see a rise to glory. But you know what else we love to see? We love to see someone plummet. We love, admit it or not, people love to see, someone crumble and come back down. It happened with Tiger, but they also love a good comeback story. So it's it's crazy how that works. But again, I'm just looking at these betting lines, dude. I look at guys you talk about just value. Tony Finau, 35-1. Hideki Matsuyama, 40-1. Hey, Bubba Watson, 85-1. Why not? Yeah. Maybe a guy that I look at and someone that, again, I met through the Junior Invitational, Scotty Scheffler, 40-1. That's a good player.
Yeah.
It's a really
playing
good
well
player.
too. He's been playing really well.
He's been playing well. So, and I remember watching him at Sage Valley. He just tore that golf course up. So, it's all about, man. Me and my dad always talk about it every single year, bro. I mean, listen, these guys can all strike the golf ball beautifully. They can all hit their driver. They can all hit their irons. Who makes the most putts? That's just what it comes down to, bro. Who makes the most putts under pressure? That's bottom line. That's what it comes down to. The guy that putts the best is most likely going to win. So, like you said, speaking of Spieth, I mean, when he's on, there's not many that are better putters in the game than Jordan Spieth is.
No. And it's why Tiger won so much in the late 90s and early 2000s, right? He was lasered in. He did not miss. A gimme for him was like 10 feet, right? Like didn't miss under 10 feet. And Jordan was the same way for a while. And if he can get that confidence about him, I've always been told that Geller, his caddy, is basically just trying to keep him calm the entire round of golf and he's basically a therapist for 18 holes. Like, he's not managing Jordan's game. He's not telling him what to hit. He's just a therapist. Yeah. And if he can keep his head on his shoulders and stay calm and stay confident about what he needs to do, Jordan Spieth is like hard to beat.
Yeah. To Spieth and to everybody else, all I ask, if you're in the lead and on Sunday, I don't know why guys try to do this. Again, me and my dad talk about this every year. Why anyone would hit a cut into 12. Just hit a draw and be long back left and make your 3 or 4 and get out of there.
Yeah.
Because these guys try to get cute and they hit this cut, and that hole is literally going this way away from you.
Yeah.
So the farther right you go, the farther you have to hit it. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I'm not smarter than a PGA Tour pro, but I'm just like, bro,
might be.
Just go long left. If you go long, it's fine. Just get your 3 or 4 and get out of there. Because if you don't, you might be like Jordan and get a 12. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm sure if he's in the lead on Sunday, that's going to be one. It's like, okay, we got to get this hole. We got to figure this one out. This is the one right here.
Yeah.
All the pressure's on this hole.
Yeah.
So, if there's one guarantee, man, for this week is the dramatics on Sunday. And I just can't wait to watch it. There's just nothing like the back 9 on Sunday at the Masters. Nothing.
Yeah. And the fact that there'll be fans there this year. There'll be some patrons.
Thank God. Thank God.
That'd be huge. That'd be huge. And I'm excited to see it. So, I mean, feet to the fire. Who's your pick to win the 2021 Masters?
I think I'm gonna go JT. I think
he's get his first major. Is that his first major? I think it is.
I think it would be, but he's so due, man. I think Justin Thomas is just way too good of a player to, at some point he's gonna break through and get it. And I know Spieth just won, and I'm a Spieth guy too. Like, I really do like Spieth. I'd love to see Spieth win, and I don't really think there are many guys on tour that I dislike. I know everybody hates Patrick Reed, which whatever. I don't really care. I think he's fun to watch. You
didn't it's cross paths while y'all were there at Augusta?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'll tell you, man, who I used to hate growing up was Tiger. I hated Tiger. Me and my dad, we hated it's because he was like the villain. We were Phil. Exactly. We were Phil guys. But once Tiger went away and all that stuff happened, I slowly started to realize, dude, golf is just not the same without him. We need him. Golf needs Tiger Woods. And it's a shame he can't play in this event, obviously, and prayers up to Tiger dealing with the injuries and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I like Thomas. I do. I know he's one of the favorites and whatever. I think John Rahm, too, could really make a push if he can just keep his emotions together.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember watching him play at Southern Cal, by the way. And I was like, how is this dude going to make it on the PGA Tour? He has that traditional Spaniard, hot head. He's just like Sergio he's just like Sergio in that regard. But I don't know. I like Thomas. I do. I like Thomas's game a lot. And I think it plays well to that course. And again, it's just all about getting hot with the putter, man. Whoever gets hot with that putter and can, like you said, make the most pressure packed putts will be the guy that takes home the jacket. So,
yeah. So I asked my Instagram people, my community on Instagram, who they think's going to win. Let's see. Let's see what kind of comments I get on this one. And John Rahm, first one I see. John Rahm, Justin Thomas, DJ. Dude, there's a lot of Rahm comments.
If I had to pick a guy, let's be a little more fun. If I had to pick a guy that was just totally under the radar, nobody's talking about going in this week, bro. Why is Gary Woodland 160-1?
That's a great question. He won the U.S. Open 3 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just saying if you have to throw one out there that's just like, nobody's talking about. I mean, I think Gary Woodland would be a good pick.
Yeah.
Maybe Phil becomes the oldest to ever win it. Does he have one more run left?
I don't think, not on the PGA Tour.
Champions Tour. Does skinny Phil have a run left in him?
Not on the PGA Tour. Sorry. I like Phil, but not on the PGA Tour.
No, I know. I agree with you.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude, Rahm's a big one on these comments.
Yeah. He's one of those players, I think, like you said, man, it's kind of like he's one of those needle movers,
Yeah.
I think he has the personality. Like people with a personality that they can kind of relate to. And, that's why like a guy like Reed is so love or hate, because he's, you're gravitated towards him and you feel some type of way about it. He's not a boring player, which I think golf needs more of. But
yep.
Now Rahm's a good player, man. I could definitely see it happen. Again, it's just all about getting hot with the putter and keeping your emotions in check. Like it's hard to believe Sergio won one, but
yeah, right.
Whatever.
See him melt down.
And I know a lot of people hate Sergio too. So I mean, it is what it is.
Well, golf needs that villain. Golf needs that storyline because it's an individual sport, right? You don't have the team to pull for. You don't have the storylines you do about you don't like this coach, you don't whatever. Right? You don't have the rivalries that you do like South Carolina, Clemson. We have a huge rivalry in football, and it translates into every other sport. Auburn and Alabama, like everybody has those rivalries. Ohio State, Michigan. We don't have those in golf because players come and go. Right. And for so long, it was Tiger and Phil, or it was Greg Norman and like Seve or whoever. Right. We don't have that right now unless it's everybody versus Patrick Reed. Like, sorry.
Yeah. No, you make a good point. Everybody versus Patrick Reed for sure.
But golf needs that storyline. Golf needs that villain. They need for people to get excited about it. It needs the personality.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. You look at like a guy like Spieth and Thomas and even DJ. They kind of feel just like the regular country club kids. Like it's not really like they're just kind of whatever. I'm just out here to play golf and whatever. That's why I will say I appreciated Brooks so much when he was just winning every major. When he came out, was just like, yeah, I don't even play the normal events. He's like, I don't think winning a major is that hard. Like I loved it. But I also was like, Brooks, shut up, dude. The golf gods are going to nip you so fast. I mean, man, the golf gods are real. Like, there's two types of people in the game. Those who are humbled and those who are about to be. I'm like, Brooks, shut up.
Oh, yeah.
But you loved it at the same time. But it's like golf is just – it's almost like it's too hard of a game to be cocky. That's why it's so crazy what Tiger did. Because it's just too hard to be that cocky. Yeah. Because it'll get you. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. But so you got –
I got Thomas. I got Thomas.
JT.
I got JT.
I got Jordan Spieth. It's gonna be an awesome week.
Those two guys could be paired together on Sunday. I mean, honestly, that I think that would be awesome. But I think we could definitely see that. Those two guys are damn good players. So
yeah, I'd love to. I mean, it's gonna be such a great week. I'm so excited. This is one of my. It's the only time I'm excited for a Monday. Right? Like I'm excited. Like there's something to talk about on a Monday that's not just fabricated or like politics or something. There's sports to talk about on a Monday, which is great. There's gonna be fans there. The only thing that would make it better if I could get some tickets and go, but maybe next year.
It'll happen when it's meant to happen, my guy. When you go, I mean, dude,
I'm gonna open up a brand new credit card and just go ham bone in the merch.
Yeah, dude, I could tell you stories of people I know in that area that rent out their house, and my best friend's dad, he gets tickets every year, and I mean he's sold them for like $4,000 a piece. I mean,
wow.
I mean, it's but it's one hell of a week, man, and it's one hell of an experience. I mean, it's the most gorgeous place you'll ever see. I mean, bottom line. I mean, I've seen some other pretty awesome courses. I've been up to Shinnecock and that part of the country and everything, and I haven't seen a ton of courses, but yeah, the National is just one of those that you just have to. My one funniest story, by the way, about Augusta National, I've actually hit a golf ball onto Augusta National. And I say onto, not at, because when I was working at Augusta Country Club, we were in 9 fairway and it was the fall, right? So all the leaves had fallen. You could clearly see 13 fairway. I mean, just clear as day. And I was like, I'm going to take my 3-wood, just blast one into Augusta National. And sure enough, piped it, and I saw it land in the fairway. And I was like, I can officially say I've hit a golf ball into Augusta. And I've hit a ball into Rays Creek because 8, the par 5 down the hill, Race Creek runs in front of the green and it circles around and runs into 12. So, I was like, hey, it's not quite, but it's still cool. It's a cool story.
It's close. So, it's probably closer than 99.99% of people are going to get. So
exactly.
You're a small percentage of people. So,
exactly.
But anyways, hey, dude, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing some of your stories. And if you don't listen to the Spurs Up Show, probably should. You probably should. So, Chris, where can people find you, follow you, listen? Where can they hear what you got going on?
Yeah, so anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find the Spurs Up Show. I mean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, whatever other platforms. Like I said, it's everywhere. And then, of course, we're on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Okay, we're on TikTok. We're on a little bit of everything, but at the Spurs Up Show. And then I'm on there personally at CPhilly19, but at the Spurs Up Show is where you can find all that. So basically anywhere. And we're also the SpursUpShow.com. We've got a website as well. So nice. Many places to find us. And like I said, I appreciate you, Blair, having me on, and not just talking Gamecocks, but talking golf as well, because I don't really get the opportunity to talk golf with people. And it's fun because I definitely love it. I definitely love it. Like I said, just being from the area and growing up playing and stuff like that. And it's been fun to follow your content, and you're probably the most golf stuff I get on my feed comes from you. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, you're welcome. I'll keep it coming.
For sure.
I'll keep it coming. All right, dude. Well, thank you for the time.
Absolutely.